There are 5 pickup trucks, hiding in the back corners of used lots right now, that mechanics quietly buy for their own families, while the average buyer overpays for a Tacoma or an F-150. After 23 years of turning wrenches, I've watched people drain their savings on popular trucks, completely ignoring these 5 absolute gold mines. Nobody knows they exist, or they think they're junk because of the badge on the grill. Today, that changes. I'm counting down the 5 most underrated trucks you can buy right now. I'm going deepest on number 1, because that's the truck that will completely change how you shop. Let's get into it. Let's start with number 5, the Ford Explorer Sport Track. It's the SUV turn truck. That actually works. People look at this and think it's just an Explorer with the roof chopped off, assuming it has the same weak transmissions as the early 2000s models. I had a customer, Mark, 40 years old, who wanted a used Ranger, but dealers were asking $15,000 for beat-up trucks. I found him a 2008 Sport Track FIV8 for $8,000. He was skeptical. In 2 years of hauling dirt bikes, he spent exactly $180 on a thermostat and an oil change. Why is it ignored? Because it looks like a compromise. But here's the insider secret. If you get the second generation with the 4.6-liter 3-valve V8 and the 6-speed automatic, you are getting the exact same bulletproof powertrain as the F-150, but in a lighter chassis with independent rear suspension. A clean V8 Sport Track runs $7,000 to $10,000. A Tacoma double cab from the same era is $16,000. You save $6,000. The most expensive repair I've done on one is a cracked radiator for $600. On a Tacoma, replacing a rusted frame is $10,000. When inspecting, listen for a ticking sound near the front wheels on cold start. That's a broken exhaust manifold stud, a $400 fix. And check the composite bed for deep cracks. Buy this if you need a family hauler that can tow 7,000 pounds. Skip it if you need an 8-foot bed for drywall. If you think that's a weird hybrid, wait until you see number 4. Number 4 is the Suzuki Equator, the forgotten twin that does everything the popular kid does for thousands less. People hear Suzuki and think of motorcycles. They assume this truck is a discontinued experiment you can't get parts for. My customer, Mike, a 28-year-old landscaper, almost financed a 2010 Nissan Frontier with 150,000 miles for $14,000. I told him to find an Equator instead. He looked at me like I was crazy. 2 weeks later, he bought a 2011 Equator with 110,000 miles for $8,500. In 3 years, he spent exactly $210 on repairs, spark plugs, and a belt. Why so cheap? Nobody remembers Suzuki sold trucks here, but here's the secret. The Equator is literally a Nissan Frontier. Same assembly line, same 4.0-liter VQ40DE V6, same 5-speed automatic. The only difference is the grille, and the fact that it costs $4,000 less. A clean Equator is $7,000 to $10,000. A comparable Frontier is $12,000 to $16,000. The most expensive repair I've done was a radiator and heater core for $850. When inspecting, check the coolant for the strawberry milkshake of death from a cracked radiator mixing with transmission fluid. Listen for timing chain whine on cold startup. Worn tensioners sound like a supercharger. Buy this if you want a reliable work truck and don't care about impressing people. Skip it if you care about brand prestige. But if you want real luxury disguised as a cheap truck, check out number 3. Number 3 is the Lincoln Mark LT, a luxury disguise, hiding a bulletproof workhorse. The stigma here is that it's a fancy, overpriced Ford that will cost a fortune to fix at a luxury dealership. Tom, 55, wanted an F-150 Lariat to tow his boat, but dealers wanted $16,000. I pointed him to a 2007 Mark LT for $9,500. He thought the maintenance would bankrupt him. 4 years later, he spent $300 on a set of ignition coils. The market ignores this truck because it has a Lincoln badge, but underneath the chrome, it is 100% a Ford F-150. It has the 5.4-liter Triton V8. Yes, the 3-valve engine has a reputation for cam phaser issues, but if you find one that has already had the timing components updated, it will run forever. A Mark LT costs $8,000 to $11,000. An F-150 Lariat with the exact same features costs $13,000 to $16,000. You save $5,000 for having a nicer grill. The most expensive repair is a full timing job, which runs $2,200. When inspecting, listen for a diesel-like ticking at hot idle. That means the cam phasers are failing. Check the sunroof tracks, as the plastic guides tend to snap. Buy this if you want a plush towing rig for cheap. Skip it if you're someone who neglects 3,000-mile oil changes. That's luxury. But number 2 is a true transformer. Next up is the Chevy Avalanche. The misunderstood transformer that rides like a luxury car and works like a heavy-duty truck. People look at the weird mid-gate design and write it off as a fake truck for suburban dads who want to look tough at Home Depot. I had a guy, Dave, 45, hauling a camper every summer. He was dead set on a Silverado 1,500 crew cab, but dealers wanted $18,000 for trucks with 180,000 miles. I pointed him toward a 2010 Avalanche. He hated the look, but I told him to just drive it. He bought it that day for $11,500. 4 years later, his total repair bill is $450 for a water pump and brake pads. People think it's an SUV trying to be a truck, but underneath, it's built on the GMT 900 platform, sharing its bones with the Suburban. You get the legendary 5.3-liter Vortec V8. Because it's built on the SUV chassis, it has coil spring rear suspension instead of leaf springs. It rides like a Cadillac, but still tows 8,000 pounds. A clean Avalanche runs $10,000 to $14,000. A Silverado crew cab costs $15,000 to $20,000. You save $5,000 because of the bed shape. The most expensive repair is replacing the active fuel management lifters for $2,500, but buy a plug-in AFM disabler for $200, and the engine becomes bulletproof. When inspecting, check the midgate seals for water stains on the carpet. Check the oil pressure gauge on a hot idle. If it dips below 20 psi, the oil pump pickup tube O-ring is failing. Buy this if you need a comfortable daily driver that can still haul. Skip it if you drop gravel in the bed with a front-end loader. All right, that was number 2. This last one, number 1, is the truck I recommend more than any other, and almost everyone pushes back at first. Number 1, the first-generation Honda Ridgeline, the ultimate contrarian choice that outlasts the real trucks while asking for nothing in return. I can already hear the comments. It's a minivan with the back cut off. It's front-wheel drive. This truck has the worst perception problem in the industry. Real truck guys won't touch it. Let me tell you about Sarah, 35, who runs a mobile dog grooming business. She was looking at a 2012 Tacoma with 200,000 miles for $16,000. I told her absolutely not. I found her a 2011 Ridgeline with 120,000 miles for $9,500. She was hesitant because her dad told her it wasn't a real truck. In 5 years of driving it daily, she has spent exactly $850 on repairs, a timing belt service, and tires. That's not a typo. Here is the core injustice. People judge the Ridgeline by what it can't do, instead of what 95% of owners actually need. It's undervalued because of fragile egos. It's built on a reinforced unibody platform, making it stiffer and safer than body-on-frame trucks. It uses Honda's J35 3.5-liter V6, one of the most reliable V6 engines ever built. I've seen dozens with over 300,000 miles. It has fully independent suspension, handling like an Accord, and a lockable watertight trunk under the bed. A clean first-gen Ridgeline runs $8,000 to $12,000. A comparable Tacoma is $15,000 to $22,000. You save up to $10,000 compared to the Toyota, getting a vehicle that rides better and is just as reliable. The most expensive repair is the timing belt and water pump service, routine maintenance costing about $900. On a Tacoma, replacing a rusted frame costs upwards of $10,000. When inspecting, check the transmission fluid. It should be bright pink. If it's dark, walk away. Check the rear trailing arm mounts for severe rust. Finally, make sure the in-bed trunk opens smoothly and isn't full of water. Buy this if you use your truck for Home Depot runs, camping, and commuting. Skip it if you haul heavy equipment or care more about your image than your bank account. If I had to buy one used truck right now to drive for the next 10 years, with the lowest possible total cost of ownership, I'd buy a first-generation Honda Ridgeline and not think twice.